Hello guys and welcome to another video. So today we're still on the account grind. We're trying to get to that Thronebreaker level, and we're going into 6.3.2. So today is one of the easiest quests on 6.3. In my opinion, I think the boss isn't too tricky. It doesn't have many nodes, and the actual defenders in the fight aren't too tricky either. So it sort of was wasn't easy, but it was easier than a lot of the other quests that I'd done so far, given sort of my roster and things like that. This one was well suited towards it, I would say. So yeah, it did make it that a little bit more simple, but still was still a challenge, and is not one that is worth sort of overlooking. This first Dark Hawk fight was one of the easier fights on here. I think Dark Hawk can be pretty tricky to fight, so if you don't like fighting him, then it'll be a bit harder. The global nodes for all of these fights are Caltrops and Bloodletting, so when you dash back, you get a bleed on you, so bleed immune champs are an absolute necessity. And then Bloodletting means that the bleed effect lasts 100% longer. So all of these fights, yeah, you definitely need a bleed immune champ, whether that is Warlock, Ultron, any robot, Luke Cage, Omega Red is a very good one because obviously he gets a death shield. Ghost, Corvus Glaive, if you are happy with taking a little bit of damage. Magneto Red, very effective on this. There's quite a lot of metal champs on the path. Again, Warlock, Dark Hawk, Iceman, Guillotine 2099, Sentinel, robots mainly are the one. All bleed immune champs are newer ones that have come out that you might also enjoy. Again, the main issue with this is that Bloodletting and Caltrops. The fight after that is Nightcrawler. He obviously is a bit more tricky to take out just because he has that evade, and apart from Warlock, I didn't actually have any champs. Well, I didn't really have Warlock as a champ who could counter evade or with True Strike. I know there's the Hercules out there. There is a Falcon, but then obviously Falcon takes bleed, so you have to be really good in your fight. But any sort of champ with True Strike or who is bleed immune is absolutely perfect for that fight. But if you just parry heavy, which is exactly what I did with Warlock, it gets the fight down easy again. The fight after that is this one that's on your screen now, is the Medusa one, or was the Medusa one. She's the exact same as the boss, not the exact same as the boss fight, but it's a Medusa, so every 3 Fury she gets, she'll auto-block, and that will cost those 3 Furies. Basically, that just means that just be aware that is coming, and it makes it a lot easier. Don't get too close to her when she does, or sort of be ready for that auto block. Obviously, champs like Hercules, again with the True Strike, will expect you'll be able to bypass that, or sort of any champ with a True Strike, obviously, will be able to bypass that True Block as well. Again, a lot of these fights, as you know, like I'm going through them quite quick because, as I said, they're just relatively easy fights. This Heimdall, again, another one. Don't push him to his SP2 because you're basically guaranteed to take damage. So just be aware of that. Let him bait out his SP1, let him throw his SP1, and then, take him down. Same with all the fights, bleed immune champs. Want to keep drilling that in so that you guys know that that's what you need. I should also say at the beginning of the fight there is a Deadpool X-Force and a Captain Marvel Classic. They have no nodes on them at all, so they are just 2 basic fights. If you bring in a Corvus, use them to boost up his charge. If you somebody like Strife to build up the code on him, or just any sort of build up champs that take fights to build them up, they work. So be aware of that. But yeah, they're 2 really easy fights, so don't worry about those. That's why I haven't showed them, because they are just long, and the recording didn't grab them. This Modok is the next fight. He obviously has auto block as well, so that can be a real pain. Again, True Strikes are really what you want to think about going into these fights, is who's bleed immune and who has True Strike. A Magneto is perfect for this. A Corvus again with maybe that Proxima Midnight synergy on it. Hercules is another one. So, these are all champs or who have lower sort of bleed immunity and also a bit of true strike to avoid that auto block. So they're the sort of champs that you want to be going in with. Bleed immune, true strike is your absolute goal here. For Red Skull, we have got unblockable specials. However, very easy fight because you just bait him in his SP1. Very easy. To, just dex back 3 or 4 times. As you can see, exactly the same as what I've done those last 3 or 4 times. He won't hit you. Easy fight to take on. Don't hit his block, otherwise it will do a lot of damage. It's the same as fighting any old Red Skull, really. If you hit that block, it will do a lot of damage. I think I do it right at the beginning of the fight, so use that as an example why you shouldn't. It took down quite a big chunk of my health. But yeah, just don't let him get to that SP2 because that can be quite tricky to evade, in my opinion. And obviously it's unblockable because he has unblockable specials. But yeah, this fight, another really easy one. I managed to actually do this one first time. I think I managed to do all the fights first time and then struggle second time on the Nick Fury. So the whole quest took me 2 times. As you can see, this Nick Fury, it's one of the easier bosses in my opinion if you know how to fight Nick Fury. So if you're good at fighting him, or you taking in Omega Red, for example, who's bleed immune, or basically bleed immune, he's very easy to take out and you can take him out really quickly. As you can see here, actually, when we get to the character select, you'll see I do a little swap to make my life a lot easier. The best way I know how to take down Nick Fury is with the character I'm going to swap to. Obviously, you guys know who it is. If you've watched all the other videos, it will be Kitty Pryde. She is, to me, the easiest person to use for Nick Fury. I don't have the perfect fight right now, but I managed to take down quite a lot of his health with her. Other really good counters for him is Colossus, Namor, Domino, Aegon, Ghost, Hyperion, Magneto Red would also work. Obviously, mutants, a lot of mutants will work, or just whoever you take down your normal Nick Fury with. So Nick Fury does have a few nodes as well, so he isn't just your basic Nick Fury. He has Shank, which means if you strike his block or hit Nick Fury in his block, there's a 40% chance that you'll get a bleed debuff. That obviously can be evaded if you don't hit him in his blocks. He doesn't have auto blocks, so as long as you play the fight really careful, you don't necessarily need a bleed immune. As you can see here, I didn't take a bleed immune in because I have Kitty, so that makes it a lot easier. He also has bloodletting, so if you do get a bleed, they do last 100% longer, so really try not to get those bleeds. And then he also has tactical adjustment and empowered immunity, which means every time you apply a debuff to him, he gains a tactical charge and also gains 33% of power. So Kitty Pryde is really useful because she doesn't put any debuffs on him. You'll see later on I take on a fight with or I have to fight this Nick Fury with Ultron, and obviously everyone or some of Ultron's hits become bleed, and he obviously gained a lot of damage for that. So really, a mutant who doesn't deal a lot of debuffs is very useful, or someone who somebody like a Magneto Red right at the end could be quite effective. But as I said, a Colossus and a more Omega Red, he doesn't count for any debuffs. Aegon is quite good. Stark Spidey will take him down quite quickly. Obviously, there's no caltrops on this one either, so you can dash back as much as you want. You don't need a bleed immune. I actually think those character selects come in really, really handy. They're very effective. As you can as long as you've got a champ, it's basically a free 100% boost. As you can see in sort of my next 6.3.3 video, 6.3.4, and then 6.3.5. All those I use the character select, and it really helps me out in the fights. It really helped me in this one as well. But as I said, this is quite a normal Nick Fury fight, as long as you don't hit him in that block. Or if you bring in a bleed immune champ, he is, again, not too bad. I was actually, as you can see there, I was really hoping that she still had her phase on. I didn't check the prowesses. Obviously, she didn't, so that made it a lot trickier. So, yeah, I'll sort of gone through all of the nodes with you guys. He is immune to buffs as well. He has got that immunity. So, obviously, we knew that already. So yeah, I just went in here with a Warlock just to try and take him out as much as I could. That's sort of it from me for this video. As I said, the best counters, we've obviously gone through them. One more time, if it makes it easier. Really, any mutant, any champ who you would normally take down a Nick Fury with, don't hit into that block because he gets you get a bleed debuff. But apart from that, it's a relatively normal fight, and you guys should be alright with him. If you're used to fighting a Nick Fury, if not, get in a practice. Best place to do it, arena. If you get high enough on, if you get to 3 times, a lot of Nick Furies come up. Practice against those Nick Furies. Go into battlegrounds, practice against Nick Furies in there. Or just get into duels and things like that, and you'll be able to fight some good Nick Furies. So once you get him into that second life, it is a little bit easier. He does go occasionally unblockable, so you've got to watch out for that as well. But as I said, you guys should be all right. Let me know how you go in the comments. Let me know where you're up to. In a future video, I'll also show off my masteries as well, because I know that was asked for from somebody. But yeah, this is the Nick Fury fight. They're all the nodes he has on him, the counters, all of those bits. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave you to watch the rest of the fight. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.